What's up, everybody out there? How you doing? I want to first and foremost say thank you for clicking that thumbnail over here at Pepe La View. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I also want to welcome new viewers, returning viewers, and subscribers. I appreciate you guys checking us out over here at Pepe La View. Now, if you know, or rather, you probably are aware, I should say it that way, if you have been watching my previous videos, that I am doing a series on the R&B Divas. I'm here to tell you, I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it. I have introduced the R&B Divas of the 1980s, not all of them, but some of them. And I'm working on things and getting things together. I'm very excited about it. I am. I love R&B divas. I love R&B music. I love it. I mean, you talk about the soundtrack of my life. I love it. And I want to talk to you guys about these particular R&B divas. We're going to get over there in a minute. But before we do that, I want to introduce some more R&B divas. That's right. Say what's up to this would be TLC. I think they're chilly in T-balls. Well, not really. I found this picture in Home Goods. Was it Home Goods? But anyway, so at first I was saying that it was Terry and Cindy of En Vogue. But now we're going to say today is Chili and T-balls, right? But anyway, so let's talk, okay, about the R&B divas. And imitation is the highest form of flattery, okay? Now, let's talk about how this all came together. Let's talk about Jaguar Wright. That's right. Now, I've been thinking about how I wanted to approach this in my head for quite some time. And I remember when Jaguar Wright came onto the scene, dishing out the dirt on who dropped hit who in these entertainment streets, literally and figuratively speaking. But anywho, so I remember when she started, coming onto the scene, in these YouTube streets, and I was like, oh, okay, taking it just pretty much like some of you all are taking it. However, I couldn't get past the fact that she continued to talk about Jill Scott's vocal abilities and how they imitated hers. You understand what I'm saying? So I was like, I remember Jaguar Wright, but I don't remember any of her music. Well, let's just put it to you this way. As I said, I love music, so I'm the person who could actually tell you who wrote the songs, who produced the songs, the musicians that played on the songs, the background singers who was on the song, the positions that the songs, any singles off the album was released, and what those the chart positions were. I was that person, okay? Even though music changed around 1997, and I decided I'm not having this music, so I stopped listening to music the way I listened to it back in the day, after 1997, but that's a whole nother topic. But anywho, so I do recall Jaguar Wright's name coming up in some publications. However, I don't remember any of her music. And I also remember the commercial that she's referencing. I didn't think nothing about it. I just thought, hey, talented woman, singing. And I was thinking she was more of an actress in the commercial than she was a singer, even though she did the thing. So anyway, so I decided one day that I was going to go and check out Jaguar Wright catalog, simply because I wanted to hear her vocally. And what's all this hoopla about Jilly from Philly? Yeah, Jilly from Philly. I wanted to know what was going on with that. So I went over. And this was maybe about a year ago. I went over, you guys. I went over and I pressed the button on one of Jaguar Wright's songs. And I don't even think I got past the first verse. Not even the first verse. I was like, you know how you go like, that's how I was. I kid you not. Like, Jilly from Philly. Yeah, I love you, baby. But I was like, Jaguar ain't lying. Like, Jill? What? You did what, Jill? Did you copy this lady's vocal style? I mean, it's too similar. Too similar. So I was like, oh, okay. But now we're talking about imitation is the highest form of flattery over here. R&B Divas. We're talking about it. So I said to myself, I said, okay, yeah, she did that. You did that, Jill. But now let's talk a minute. Now, when I think about Jill Scott, I have to tell you guys something. I'm sorry, y'all gonna pull my black card when I say this. I'm sorry, you're gonna pull it. I know. I got the feeling you're gonna pull it. There are 3 artists I didn't like when I first heard them. There are 3. That's three. I was like, ooh, I can't get into this. The first would be SWV. I'm sorry, Coco. Lily and Taj, I'm sorry. I just didn't like Right Here. When I heard that song, I was like, oh, Lord, what in the world is this childish foolishness going on over here with this song right here? I didn't start liking SWV until I'm So Into You. And when at the end of the song, when she, you're not mine and I can't deny, and that do, I was like, oh, shocker. That's shocker. That's shocker. You're not mine, I can't deny it, and all that. I was like, imitation, highest form of flattery. Mm-hmm. Right there. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay. That's a little bit of Shaka Khan in there. I was like, okay, I like that. But the other artist would be, y'all gonna get me. I know it's gonna be. I ain't like Erykah Badu when she first came out. I'm sorry. On and on. I was like, ooh, God, get it away from me. Like, it can go on. I'm sorry. I didn't. It's just what it is. I like her now. I just didn't like the song. I wasn't feeling them. I was like, yeah. SWV, Erykah Badu, I wasn't feeling when it first came out. And Jill Scott, I ain't like it. I ain't like it. But that's okay, because I've grown to like them. They're my favorite artists, and I'm pleasantly surprised about Erykah Badu's vocal ability, because I was like, when I heard her do a remake of, she performed one of Shaka Khan's songs, and I was like, Erykah, why don't you sound like that on the record? Like, do that stuff. I was like, Erykah Badu can really sing. I was like, well, she ain't singing. I was like, okay, she's getting on my nerves, not singing. Like, I was like, this Erykah Badu can really sing, but she just don't. I was talking to a friend of mine about a couple of weeks ago, and I brought this up, and she said Erykah Badu says in her concerts, in her shows, that, she ain't about all these runs and all that stuff. I understand it now. She does it when she feels like it. But getting back to Jill Scott and Jaguar Wright. So I was like, okay, Jill Scott has some serious explaining to do as far as imitating Jaguar Wright. Okay. Now, they're both from Philly, and I guess, from what Jaguar says, they are part of the same camp. I'm just saying, we just think out loud over here. That's what we do. I just think in my head. I do my Wendy Williams over here. I'm just in my head. I did pay me no, never mind now. I'm just in my head. So I said, okay, politics do get in the way of this recording thing. Politics definitely gets in the way. All right, Jill, get in the way. Yeah, politics definitely gets in the way. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, if Jaguar Wright came out first, like we really got to experience the total package of Jaguar Wright the way we have gotten, the total package of Jill Scott, and it was the other way around, we could easily probably say, all right, Jill, you copying Jaguar and vice versa. We could easily say that, right? But I'm saying to myself, like, okay, it is what it is. She ain't lying, y'all. I mean, Jaguar Wright, she sounds just like, well, they both sound alike. Too much alike. Now, between me and you, now, I'm just saying, I don't want to give Jaguar Wright no ammunition, like just to, if I hear Jaguar Wright do a rendition, even a live version of He Loves Me, let her sing He Loves Me. That's all I got to say, Jaguar. Sing He Loves Me. I'm talking about singing just like Jill sings it all. Listen, that's when I started liking Jill Scott, by the way. I started liking her with The Way. I was like, okay, The Way is out. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, yeah, Jill Scott. I'm hooked now, Jill Scott. We there. But when I purchased a copy of The Experience, and I got to He Loves Me, and I was like, what in the bananas is going on over here with Jill Scott? I was like, this is incredible. This is something I've never heard before when it came to Jill Scott. I was like, wow, like mesmerized, because what I liked most about that version of The Way is I really and truly like the play, the musicians and the background singers, and then Jill Scott's lead vocals and how they complemented each other and came in and out, and how she got the crowd into it. And y'all, I'm here to tell you, like, I love it when singers do that. I seldom see singers nowadays do that. So when I heard Jill Scott do it and I experienced that and it was captured on tape, I was like, yes. I've seen very few people do that. Now, Ledisi, I was about to call her Ledisi. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm being a little silly. I saw Ledisi do it one day and I was like, ooh, I like this. See, I just love it when like I said, y'all, I'm R&B, old school, like when Luther Vandross and Lisa Fisher and all the other background singers would go at it back and forth, complimenting each other, but at the same time, letting those vocal capabilities just flow. I was like, oh, I had the opportunity to see Stevie Wonder in concert when he was on the tour for the songs of the Key of Life back in the mid 2000s, maybe 2010, 12, somewhere up in there, when he, went on tour, and he was in Nashville. You guys, I'm sorry, sidebar. Let me tell you about that. I love the Stevie Wonder concert. I promise you I did. That concert started exactly at 7:00. It was like 11. It started at 7. Not 7. I know what I said, 7. It started at 7. It was 11:00 and it was the band was still playing. I was like, I love you, Stevie, but I got to go to work in the morning. Like, because who had that? He had the concert, I think it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I was like, Stevie, come on. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. I had to leave. Got my money's worth. But where I'm going with it, he allowed those background singers. He let them get loose. The background singers, and they did their version of Who's Loving You. Stevie Wonder stopped the show and said, y'all can't, He was like, that's enough. I mean, they were that good. That good. I was like, man, I was saying to myself said, is this what it was like when Angela Winbush was singing background with Stevie Wonder? Did he let them do this too? And Denise Williams and Sarita Wright, did he let them cut loose like this, man? But anywho, getting back, I know, sidebar. I told you I was sidebar. I was like, okay, she got some explaining to do, Jilly from Philly. But we're talking about imitation as the highest form of flattery. Speaking of that, we're going to wrap this up. I know. Hold on for a second. Now, do you remember just a few years when when producers used to see a nice looking woman and they asked them over into the studio and they would call in a few musicians, cook up a little food and throw a little party, and then they'll turn out some R&B divas. Well, now that I think about it, I'm not joking, because isn't that allegedly what happened with the Mary Jane girls and Rick James? Didn't he just find some nice looking women and put them together and call them over into the studio and told them, y'all fixing to be my new singers. But anyway, let's talk about Faith Evans real quick and Mary J. Blige. I'm going to whip this all together. Oh, trust me, I'm going somewhere. So anywho, imitation is the highest form of flattery. Now, I remember, like you guys, y'all, because these three ladies, these four rather, I'm going to tell you I'm going somewhere. Now, I remember when Mary J. Blige came out. I do. Like, I was there. Like remember, like, I was in school. Where was I? I think I was in junior high school. Was I in junior high? Somewhere around there. Junior high, about to go into high school, something like that. But anywho, my aunt calls me on the phone. She did the same thing when, In Vogue was on Soul Train. Same aunt. Yeah. She introduced me to In Vogue and she introduced me to Mary J. Blige. Not literally, I mean figuratively speaking, musically, she introduced me. She said, I want to let you hear. Have you heard this song? I was like, no, I haven't heard. You remind me about Mary J. Blige. I'm not familiar with her at all. She was like, and see, she asked me because I was the music head. So I said, no, never heard of her. She played it. It was a maxi single at that. See, y'all don't know anything about maxi singles. Let me tell you about the maxi single. The maxi single is when they would have several versions on of the record. Okay, that was the maxi single. As a matter of fact, the maxi single, it wasn't even in the cardboard single. Y'all remember? See, y'all don't. It was in the cardboard, the cardboard cover. The maxi single was like in the jewel case. Yeah, I remember that. So anyway, now that I think about it, Mary J. Blige didn't have a picture on that either. But going back to Mary J. Blige's single, so she introduced me to her musically, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really like this. This is nice. This is nice." And I was like, "Okay, I can get into this." And then they had the slower version, slow mid-tempo version. Then they had the fast version, the upbeat version. I was like, "Okay, I can get into Mary J. Blige." And then, of course, she came out with Real Love, and that sealed the deal. Like, once Mary J. Blige came out with Real Love, I was like, she could do no wrong. My aunt bought the record or the cassette. That cassette, she purchased it. And all I had to do was just say, I need my Mary J. Blige fix. That's why I told her she'll let me put it in, and I'm blasting it and all that stuff. Like, yeah. So I'm here to tell you I'm going somewhere, because we just said Jilly from Philly came out, and eventually I got hooked on her, and then Mary J. Blige came out. Now that's Faith Evans. I'm trying to get over that to Mary. Well, you know what she is. She right there. So then Mary J. Blige comes out, and I was like, I love her. I mean, she could do no wrong. Even though everybody I talked to about Mary, like saying, like, I really like her, they did. They was like, well, we don't think she's not, she's not a singer, you know. And Mary J. Blige eventually started to talk a lot about that, especially around the My Life record. When My Life came out, I mean, people really started to blast her about saying that she couldn't sing. And I was like, she sounds all right to me. I don't have no problem with her. You know what I'm saying? Not me. But people did, you know, they blasted her, you know, and eventually it came up in some of her interviews, and she did say, well, you know I don't have all those octaves and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. She was cool with it, you know. I think she handled it nicely as far as in the public. Now, who knows what she was saying behind the closed doors about, you know, what people were saying. But Mary J. Blige, when she hit, Mary J. Blige, I can honestly say, in my opinion, she hit right off the bat. Like, she hit, even with You Remind Me. And she's been hitting ever since. And she pretty much, I mean, if she didn't follow in the footsteps of anyone, she definitely blazed the trail for her own. I mean, at the end of the day, Mary J. Blige, she is legit sealed into the high echelons of R&B music for sure. I mean, it's just a done deal on that. Now, did Mary J. Blige, what did she sing? Mary J. Blige, when she came onto the scene, I think people was probably comparing her to Anita Baker. If I'm not mistaken, was it You Bring Me Joy, Caught Up in the Rapture? Now that I think about it, why did she never remake that song if she was in the recording booth in the mall and she had a version of that song? Why they never allowed her to record that record, remake it? You know what I'm saying? You can still do it, Mary. You can still do it. Go ahead on. Go on out there and put that record together now. Put it together. But anywho, so I'm sorry. So she comes out and she hits with, what's the name of that record? My Life. Like, it was the only disappointment with My Life was, and I still said, and they visually hit on it in some publications, it was heavily sampled, but it was so good though. But it was heavily sampled, but it was so good. I mean, it was a beast. That My Life record, I mean, she hit it. I mean, it was it. Like, as I said, Mary was on it. But now I'm going somewhere. Notice where I'm going. I said Jilly from Philly, and then Jaguar Wright. Jill comes out. She eventually hits, and her vocal style is unlike any other that I could think of. And then we got MJB. She comes out. Her vocal style is like none we have really ever heard. And of course, we understand it's kind of raw and raspy, but we didn't care. We don't care, Mary. Mary. See over here when we pull the shades, sunglasses down, that's giving shade, baby. We shade them. We don't care. So we give them shade. So Mary, we don't care. You make the bomb records. I'm just saying. But anyway, baby. But she comes out. Now we know, just want to make sure everybody understands this out here in music land. We know that Mary J. Blige is not Bad Boy. She is Uptown. She's not Bad Boy. Now, I don't know. It could be a contractual situation as to the reason why she didn't. Why didn't she go over to Bad Boy? But I guess, yeah, now that I think about it, Andre Harrell, right? The story goes he let Puffy go, and Puffy, was not feeling it, and he had to, take control of his destiny, and he started Bad Boy, right? And he goes out and get himself a Mary J. Blige. Faith, I know. I love Faith. See, I like them all. Y'all, these ladies, I love them. They're R&B divas. You understand what I'm saying? They are definitely R&B divas. You understand what I'm saying? Over here, we're talking about the R&B divas, and they're definitely R&B divas. And why do we like these R&B divas? We love them because it's definitely the way she moves, it's the way she dresses, it's the way she looks. It's definitely all of that. It's all of that. It's all of that. It's the way she sings, regardless, hey, of who you like and who you say can and can't sing in this group. Like we some people out there think that they can sing. It's all of the above. We like all of it. We like all of it. And as we know, imitation is what? The highest form of flattery. We know this. Speaking of which, and now we're talking about Mary J. Blige and Anita Baker. You know, they said the same thing about Anita Baker. They said she couldn't. I disagree. When she was with Chapter 8, supposedly, Clive Davis, that's what they said. He let the band go. Said Anita Baker can't sing. Allegedly, that's what I'm saying. I like Anita Baker's music. And what do we know about imitation is the highest form of flattery? Now that we're on Anita Baker, the word out in the streets is that now, depending on who you talk to, depending on what they say at the time, Toni Braxton's first record, the songs on it, was for Anita Baker for the Boomerang soundtrack, the Eddie Murphy movie Boomerang. They were demoing the music with Toni Braxton singing the demo. As the story goes, Anita Baker's too far pregnant that she can't, or she says she's just, I can't do it. But who's that lady that's singing it? Get her to do it. And that's what they did. They got Toni Braxton to sing on that record. Now, from what I understand is that, I guess it's they recorded it or wrote it with Anita Baker in mind. And I guess they're trying to get the best possible feel. They have Toni Braxton singing in a particular key. And now we get Toni Braxton sounding like Anita Baker. And that's how Toni Braxton got her sound, supposedly. That's what they tell me. But I can't understand. You got Babyface calling you a bona fide hit maker. And you tell him you too far pregnant? Baby, I'll be in that chair. I would have gotten that chair and sat down. Hold on. Breathe with me, baby. I would have went in labor trying to hit the birds. I gotta hit. Think about what would have happened to Anita Baker's career if she would have recorded Love Should Have Brought You Home. I don't know if that was the record that was presented to her. You can definitely tell that's Anita Baker's album. Like, yeah, Toni Braxton's first album is definitely Anita Baker album. It's the same styling. Anita Baker's career would have really taken off with a different kind of material. Woo! I mean, has Anita Baker ever perform Love Should Have Brought You Home? Has she ever did that in a show? I just wondered. But getting back over to Mary J. Blige and P. Diddy. Yeah, I know I called him Puffy. Sean Puffy Combs went out and got himself another Mary J. Blige. I don't think Mary J. Blige was too happy about that either. But I don't know if it was a diss. I don't know if it was. Or if it was just his attempt to just say, man, they do sound a lot alike. Now, I remember just a few years when I heard You Used to Love Me, I thought it was Mary J. Blige. Didn't y'all think that? I thought that. I thought it was Mary J. Blige. I really and truly did. I was like, this got to be Mary J. Blige. But it wasn't. It was Faith. Faith, I like You Used to Love Me. As soon as I get home, I mean, I like the record and all, but that whole record, I know I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole record. But you may do with the next round, though. You know, I mean, after that, I was hooked, though. You know, you might, shoot, never knew love like this. Well, never knew love like this. Yes, it's not before. Never knew love like this. Anyway, you got me. And there's another song, speaking of which, I don't know what CD it's on, but there's a song she recorded called Back to Love. It's like an up-tempo, fast track, Back to Love. Man, I love it. I might play this after this video. Back to Love is my jam. I love it. I love it. And so I know Mary has to feel a certain kind of way because imitation is the highest form of flattery, but she sounds just like Mary J. Blige. You got you another Mary. And I don't know what's going on in the Jaguar camp, in the Jill Scott camp, because we're talking about imitation as the highest form of flattery. Why they felt the need to do this. And see, I told you we're about to see, we ain't necessarily we don't necessarily have a flow, but I know what I want to do in my head. So now we on the point that I'm trying to make. And the point I'm trying to make, y'all all right back there? T-bars and chili, y'all all right back there? All right, I just want to make sure, you know. But anyway, so I'm blocking T-bars, but chili, we're going to leave chili in the picture. Yeah, so back to where I was. So now, Jaguar is saying that this Jill Scott and Mary J. Blige kind of put their foot on her neck, kept her from, he loves me, he's special. They didn't want her to sing. Now, where I'm going with this is now Jill Scott made a name for herself. Mary J. Blige has definitely made a name for herself. You have to look at Mary J. Blige's career, even in the beginning and going into My Life. I'm not quite sure about the years when, what's that child named Jaguar Wright is releasing her material or attempting to release her material. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. They allegedly kept her from really doing her thing. And I would like to think, because Mary J. Blige is definitely seeing her career soar, that she has power enough to do that and say, if y'all gonna do that, well, I ain't, like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And you can see Jill probably doing the same thing. You know what it could be? Because I was about to go somewhere, but in my head, I said, well, vocally, do you think? I got a thought. You know what that thought is? Jill Scott and Erykah Badu don't necessarily sound the same. They are in the same category of music, neo soul, but they're not the same singer. And Erykah Badu has told y'all, I'm not doing them runs and them octaves and all that stuff. Like I do what I do. So then if Erykah Badu is doing that, then Erykah Badu, hold on, y'all, I'm trying to get my finger right. Erykah Badu is no competition for Jilly from Philly. She's not competing, trying to be on the same level vocally as Jilly from Philly. Erykah Badu isn't, even though she can do it. Which means then we let Jaguar Wright loose. It's going to get kind of tight up in here. Think about it. What is the man trying to tell you? Sometimes flour and candy means maybe you don't need to put the record out right now. I'm just saying. Think about it, y'all. Come on, think about it. I'm going to go somewhere. So we have Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton is with LA and Babyface. Mariah Carey is over there with Tommy Mottola. Who else? Whitney Houston is over there with Clive Davis. Celine Dion, where is she? But she was on somebody's label. She on somebody's label. So we got these 4 divas. Anita Baker's over there at Elektra. Who else is out at the time? Oh gosh. Janet Jackson is over there at A&M Records, or is she over at Virgin Record by then? But either way, she's over there. Notice where I'm going. Who else is doing big? Well, we got Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight over at MCA Records, but they cool with each other, so they ain't trying to be competition. And Gladys is okay with Patti LaBelle doing Patti LaBelle on stage, you know, because Gladys, she's that alto, you know, she ain't trying to be that soprano, you know. So where I'm going, every record company and these executives, they have their singer, their superstar, their diva. You can't have the same diva in the same camp. Oh, Lord. Hold on for a minute, you guys. Hold on. I'm about to just hold on for a second. I'm have to hold on. I'm gonna lose my power. I'm sorry. Just bear with me. I don't want to lose my power. So we can't have the same singers. You know, we just can't do it. You see, you see where I'm going? We can't have the same singer. We can't have all that diva power. Can't do it. I'm trying to get Chili back in the picture. All right, Chili. So what are we trying to say here? I'm just saying it's a lot of competition. It's a lot of competition, people. That's where I'm going with this. It's a lot of competition. I'm not saying copying. I'm not saying taking somebody's shine. But we got a whole lot of imitation as the highest form of flattery over here. And do y'all remember, you old heads? And if you're not an old head and you're a new head, learn something. I'm about to teach you something. I'm about to learn you something. When Shaka Khan came out, Shaka Khan. When she came out, I remember, I showed her, I remember there was a lot of divas who came after her and they started sounding like Shaka. I mean, Shaka Khan definitely introduced a lot of divas. And they sound just like her. I remember back in 1988 when Vesta Williams came out with Sweet Sweet Love. Love the record. It was a big R&B hit for Vesta. People thought that was Shaka Khan. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Some of these singers were actually her background singers. Melissa Morgan, Do Me Baby. Y'all go back into these 80s and listen to these divas, and y'all will see those women. Woo, they was definitely doing their shaka. They definitely had their shaka on. That's all I'm saying. So we have Mary J. Blige and Faith Evans now sounding alike. So where am I going with this? Well, it's simple. It's simple. It's simple. Faith Evans, for whatever reason, she sounds like Mary J. Blige. And Jill Scott, for whatever reason, sounds like Jaguar Wright. Now, the jury might be out on Jaguar Wright and Jill Scott. And it's possible that it's out because we're not quite sure how's the recording situation going on. You see, are they recording at the same time and Jaguar Wright's music gets shelved? And we have Jilly from Philly out. And so now it's like, hey, Jaguar Wright sounds like Jill, she's copying her. See, my head, y'all, I be thinking. I'm going to end on this note. Oh, God, I don't believe I'm about to say this. Oh, gosh, I know I'm not about to say this. It's just my opinion. It's not a fact. It really isn't. I always wondered, though, when I hear Jill sings, when I hear her sing, when I see her perform, let's just talk about He Loves Me. It comes off like it's not real. You know, like, I'm not going to say real. It's like she's thinking about it. You know how most people say, you know, when you're singing, you just let it flow. You just let it rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think about it. To me, maybe there's some validity in what Jag is saying, because to me, when I think about Jill and her singing style, it's almost like she forces herself to sound that way. It's just a thought that went in my head. I don't know. She forces herself to sound that way. I want to believe that Faith Evans' voice is not forced. I think she really sounds like she sounds like, and they got her to sing like Mary. Like, you know, well, they got her recording music that Mary would record. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted as I'm about to end this video. We know we got sopranos. We have the soprano section. We know that. We have the first and second soprano, first and second tenors, you know, the altos and the basses and all that stuff. We understand that there's not like these ladies singing voice falls somewhere in that. We understand that. And because of that, then we have, you know, a lot of sopranos, a lot of tenors, and a lot of altos singing. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the styling of the song, the way they come off vocally, you see, it's too similar. Intentionally, I guess. Yeah, I like Jill, but I'm going to say I always thought that about her. It's like I sound great, but I wonder if that's how she really sings. If she just let it go and let it rip. Like when we hear Jaguar sings, you know, from the little bit that we see of her, like you can tell she's not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? She's just flowing with it. Tell me what you think. I don't know. I do know one thing. All I want to do is that I just listen, you guys. I just want to hear Jaguar Wright sings "He Loves Me," and I mean, and I'm not talking about sing "He Loves Me" like just sitting and singing. I want her to get in front of a band, stand in behind a microphone, and I want her to sing "He Loves Me," and I'm talking about just like they do on the live, the Experience record. See, that's how I think in my head, and that'll be done. Like I drop the microphone, like Eddie Murphy dropped the microphone and Coming to America. I'll be like, I'm done. Exit stage left. I'm out. I'm not thinking about this no more. I'm done. What y'all think? I'll leave it on the stage, baby, and be like, I'm done, like with this. Oh God, I just can't do this. I can't do this. Oh, I don't know. I might have to revisit this. I think I'm going to revisit this because this is just in the top of my head as I was sitting down thinking. I'm going to have to revisit this because, you know, it is what it is. Well, I love you. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that share button over here as I talk about the R&B divas. Yeah, I appreciate it. I thank you so much. And remember, over here at Pepe La View, we definitely believe in putting your behind where your heart desires to be. So if you desire to sing, then baby, sing. If you desire to write, write. If you want to play that sport, get out there on that field, work out, do whatever you have to do, but play it now. Get there. You can't do it sitting on the couch. You understand what I'm saying? And remember, whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she said, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I'm telling you. And on that note, it's been real nice. It really has been. And I hope to see you next video. Until then, you take care of yourselves. All right.